John Textor's Derby County takeover hangs in the balance, and there's a lot of different things that we can discuss in this regard. Now, John Textor has been reported with an interest of Derby County. A bid of up to £60 million could seal the deal for him to get the club off of David Clowes. But are we going to see this deal done before the January transfer window? Are we even going to see this deal get done? Now, obviously, there's a lot of discussion to be had around this. Is John Textor the right man to take over Derby County and take Derby County forward, or is there better options out there? Now, we're going to cover all of that across here on the Derby Digest YouTube channel. So if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. But let's discuss John Textor. Now, obviously, John Textor has had his issues. We've spoke about it previously on a video just a few days ago, where we spoke about his issues with the likes of Lyon and Crystal Palace. But we're in a position now where if John Textor provides Derby with a financial injection, I don't think anybody is going to complain. I think the complaints will come when John Textor potentially takes over potential full ownership of Derby County, or even a controlling stake in the club. Now, over the course of the last 24 hours, it has been revealed by the owner of Botafogo over in Brazil that John Textor was trying to get 4 of their best players to come and join Derby County over the course of the last few months. Obviously, that didn't happen, but we're going to have to wait and see how that develops. Now, that same interview revealed that Botafogo don't find themselves in a multi-club ownership model despite John Textor's involvement. Now, if we go back to the summer, I believe they made a fair few dealings with Mr. Marinakis from Nottingham Forest. There's also a range of different clubs who they've had dealings with in the past, which may have potential links to that of John Textor. Now, for me, I think as we sort of move forward towards a potential takeover or anything like that, I think we've got to be really open and honest about what this could mean for Derby County, and that's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. Now, do I believe that John Textor is a man that can take Derby County forward? I believe he has the financial power in order to do so, but I think in order for Derby County to go forward, do I think he's the right man? Probably not. Now, we are going to have to sort of see how this goes over the course of the next few months. Obviously, as of right now, we've had no official word from David Clowes, no word from Derby County as a club. We've had no word from local media as well in regards to John Textor potentially taking over. And I think that sort of puts us in a position where are we going from here, and what are Derby County trying to achieve with this potential situation? Now, I'm not going to turn around and say that John Textor is the man that is going to turn Derby County into a Premier League powerhouse and European giant, because ultimately Derby County are at minimum 10-15 years away from being anywhere near that discussion. Now, obviously, if you look at Derby County at the moment, I think we're sitting just 1 point outside the playoffs. We're about 4 points off the automatic promotion places. Yes, I think there's only been 15-16 games, but we're sort of heading in that right direction. And I think the big thing that we've got to look out for as Derby County fans, especially heading into this January transfer window, is making sure that we have a squad capable of performing even with injuries. Now, you will have seen over the course of the last month or so, David Ozo gets injured, Ibu Adams steps up, Lewis Travis got injured, and Bobby Clark stepped up. You've got Joe Ward stepping up for Max Johnston. Selverson has stepped up for Carlton Morris on Tuesday night, and that puts us in an excellent position to see these players stepping up. But ultimately, there's only so far down the depth chart you can get where you're going to have that impact. I love Lars-Jørgen Selverson. I think Joe Ward's been incredible. Danny Bart, to a man, was incredible on Tuesday night. But I think there's going to be a lot of discussion about improving this squad continually, and I think the January transfer window is going to be the biggest transfer window in Derby County's recent history, especially since coming out of administration, because we have an opportunity to do something special this year, and the only way we're going to do that is with continual investment, especially heading into this January transfer window. And will that come from John Textor giving us a financial injection? It may well do. Now, my issue with John Textor potentially taking over Derby County in a controlling stake is that I just don't think he's the guy that puts us in a good position. I think if you look at his history at other clubs, Lyon and Crystal Palace, Botafogo, you look at all that, and there is a video just going through all those details that was out a couple of days ago, and I just think it puts Derby County in a really weird position, because it comes across to me like he's very much a bit like Mel Morris. Now, the only difference with this is Textor is a billionaire. Well, he's an on-paper billionaire with the clubs he owns and things like that. Now, does that mean that he has the cash to stump up and go and buy Derby, to stump up and invest in Derby? Absolutely. Now, this also puts Derby in a position where this could be great for the rest of this season to have a financial injection, but on the long term, it could be a real big negative. Now, obviously, we're all hoping that whoever does invest in the club, whoever does take over from David Clowes, sort of carries us on in the same trajectory that we're going, with the aim of sustainability, the aim of putting Derby County in a much better position, both on and off the pitch. And do I think that John Textor can do that? I certainly think he has the financial power to. But do I think he's probably looking at an opportunity to get a club into the Premier League, take that TV money and probably run? I would probably put it more in that boundary. Now, obviously that puts us in a really sort of difficult position in sort of where we're going to try and turn this club, essentially. But it's one of those things where you can't turn down a financial injection, in my personal opinion. And that is just my personal opinion. I don't think you can turn down a financial injection from Derby County, but we are going to sort of have to wait and see what does happen with this one. As much as he is a billionaire, he does have contacts all around the world. It will improve Derby County's scouting network. It also puts us in a position where there's going to be clubs like Botafogo who aren't going to be happy about us, if that makes sense. We've already seen that in an article that came out yesterday, and it sort of puts us in a really, really weird position where Derby County, as much as they need the financial injection, do they need it from John Textor, or should they continue to wait and hold on for whatever comes next? And that's sort of what puts me in a really weird position for me, because I'd love Derby County to have a billionaire owner, but would I love us to have a billionaire owner like Textor, who's got the history he's got at the other clubs? I'm not entirely sure. Now, obviously, you lot will all have your opinion as well, and I've seen a fair few of them over the course of the last few months since John Textor was first announced. Obviously, made a couple of videos on the main channel in regards to John Textor and potentially taking over at Derby County, and it is very much a mixed bag of what people want and what people are expecting. Now, I do believe that David Clowes will do the best thing for the football club, whether that be John Textor taking over or whether it be David Clowes turning him down. That is something which we won't know. Now, obviously, I do hope that Derby County do put out some sort of statement in regards to this situation, because I certainly think it's something which does need to be sort of addressed. Obviously, with the reports coming out that Derby County is subject to a £60 million bid, obviously, whether that be a full takeover or things like that, we don't really know. And I think it would be really important for the club to sort of put that information out there so that we can keep moving and everybody knows what's going on. One of the main things that was a problem under Mel Morris was we had a lack of transparency, and I think at the moment, in terms of this takeover and investment saga, we're again in that position with a lack of transparency. Now, obviously, you can have your say. You can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This has been the Derby Digest. If you have not done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and start that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.